Hi guys, how are you doing? It's nice to see you. I hope I have a good connection this time. Last weekend was garbage, and then this afternoon, or late this morning, when I did my deep dive on ice, I had a great connection. So God knows what it's going to be. I hope we can hang in there. I've got a reading I'm going to do on Netanyahu and a little look on Gaza and the Palestinians and see just kind of in a nutshell how that looks as we open. I'm going to take a total of only 8 questions because of that. And because I did that live earlier, I just need to kind of think a little bit more about my energy. But we still have, I think, some spots from what I see. Okay. And then Laura and Isadora. And as many of you may have heard, President uh, Biden has been unfortunately given a very sad health diagnosis of what is a metastasized cancer to the bone that spread from prostate cancer. So we know that that's not really good. I have seen for years that he would get ill, so I'm not terribly shocked. We have 4 spots left, and I'll take Artist Liz question. Um, so I will be definitely looking at that, and I know people have asked about it. So I'm going to go ahead just now, and Isadora will corral any questions, corral me to them. Hey, Mel Hepburn. Hello. Oh, where did I set my cards? It's been one of those days, I'm telling you. You know, it happens when you're more or less on bed rest for a long time. You start to one day kind of bleeds into the other, but I try to make an extra effort to keep track, and I think I do pretty good. Hey, Erica Mohos, how are you? Nice to see you here. And Gina, always good to see the gang here. I'm really happy that Mel is here. Mel Hepburn here. Hello, hello. And Laura, we've gotten um her question. All right. I'm just gonna roll back and see if I missed any other ones. I don't think so. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm squared up there for right now. Ah, Patty D. Agostino. Hello, I was recently laid off. All right. And you've got a question. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back. I hope you didn't have poor health or anything. Um, yeah. So I think we are now you need a yeah, you need a break from politics now and again. Yeah, yeah. I absolutely do that where I take a few days off and I kind of go the channel might go a little quiet. Yep, there's only one more question. So make it count. All right. Sanity is needed. That's one of the things that you got to do in order to keep yourself from really getting depressed, to just kind of divorce yourself from human drama. All right, let me get a sip of my fresh cup of coffee my husband made me. Get that caffeine a going. Get my second wind. Okay. Let's see. Let's take a look in general, very lightly, just kind of skirting it. But Netanyahu, what we need to know about Netanyahu, Gaza, and Palestine. I resend your layout. Okay. Just going to star that so I can look at that when I get to your question, Patty. I think we are kaput for questions. All right. I'm sorry about that. But keep your chin up. Keep your chin up. Don't let the bastards get you down. All right. So right now I'm just going to look at Netanyahu, Gaza, and the Palestinian people and just seeing how the future goes for them. But primarily I want to touch off on Netanyahu. Um, he's been coming back into my radar, and it's weird. I kind of let him go for a while, and he kind of comes and goes. But he's been kind of coming back up, and that situation as well, that's very toxic. He's a very toxic man. But let's just see his longevity. How much more does everyone have to endure him around? We know from readings of my past, I see him going. Um, I know other readers have seen that too. So let's just see what we get with the cards regarding Netanyahu, and when is he going to get really in trouble, like having to resign or pressures like that. How's that going to go? BB. Well, we get the card of betrayal, and this is, oh, this is the home separating the people from their home, the Palestinians from Gaza that lived there. And he's going to go, and things are actually going to get better once he's gone. Here with the Six of Swords. Let me also verbally tell you the cards in case you're wanting to keep them in mind. Three of Swords and the Six of Swords. So this heartbreak that he brings with him, that he has given to the world, he's going to be going. It's showing up in the reading. And I also get heart stuff for him. It just hit me there in a flash when I was looking at that. Sometimes it does. He doesn't surprise me as somebody that could have heart health issues. He just looks like sometimes what I get when I see someone like that is I feel like I can't breathe. I feel like my heart, like I am having trouble with respiratory. And I get that with Trump and I get that with him. But anyway, they're going to want him gone. They're not going to consider him a good guy, a good leader. They're just enduring, frankly. They want someone that is more measured, that is more moderate, not so extreme. And that's paired with the Two of Cups. I think that leader is already in place. I think people know who they want. I don't know who this is, by the way. I wish I was and had the leisure of having the time to read up on all of the world's political systems. Maybe after Trump is out, I can kind of read back into it. But anyway, with strength and the Two of Cups, I believe there is a better leader ahead for Israel, and I do see Bibi leaving. I see women, the issues being primarily connected to women and children, pushing for him to go. It pushes him out, and I see a strength with this agreeable Two of Cups, somebody else. Okay. He has to retreat, possibly for health issues, even with the Four of Swords. And the other two cards I got were Strength and the Two of Cups, where I see a stronger leader coming in that's more measured and less extreme, one that is actually one on one, listening to the people and what they want. A one on one, like, oh my gosh, you're hearing me, you're seeing me. And somebody that's a grown up, not a child man, a baby man. He's going to leave. I think he's going to have to go. And it could really fall firstly on health issues. Okay. He has committed a lot of war crimes. He could pass. I'm not seeing it right away in these cards, but I feel like we are kind of going into that ground. Let's just see what we get. There's going to be something new here. He also takes a lot of risks. He does. And we all know with the Fool, that the next step with that heavy risk is off a cliff. He could go a bridge too far, as they say. It's paired with what he does, his efforts, where he puts the money, the funding. He's foolish. It's too risky. People don't like what he's doing. Full stop. They don't like what his goals are. They don't like any of that. I think they feel like he plays too loose and too fast, is the energy I'm getting. I'm getting a King of Wands, and we have paired with that an Empress. So we've got also a lot of money around this King of Wands. This could represent Netanyahu, um, because he does have a kind of a fiery, warish, Mars-like energy, and this is with the wands, the fire. It's definitely, and it feels like this is Israel with the land here. Okay, what else am I getting? Let me just kind of open up and get out of my own way. We get the stars in the spotlight for the human violations, the human rights violations, and there's so much grieving. Um, I think someone is going to put him in the spotlight for it too. The people in Gaza having to live so, horribly. Yeah, he has a heart, but I think the way he lives really, he does a disservice with the Three of Swords. So I see health issues coming up and him having to pull back because he's not going to have the stamina. When you have heart issues, you lose stamina to endure. And Trump's starting to get some of that. I think that's probably why he gets a bit kind of even more so. Also, his brains are, I think, getting affected by genetically connected diseases that of like Alzheimer's and stuff like his father. Um, we're getting the Page of Pentacles and Temperance. They want somebody else. They're going to get somebody else in there again that starts things afresh, starts things new, and starts maybe the agreements to that aren't so extreme between Gaza and Palestine and Israel. I see him getting also, this could also be some of his health going down. And again, due to extremes, his own extreme energy. Ugh. The Hermit, he has to pull back. It's all about, we've gotten a few cards of retreat here with the Four of Swords and the Hermit now. He is going to have to pull back, and there's going to be news on it. People watchful, people, I think, like wanting to know why they haven't seen him, so on and so forth. He's going to pull back, I think, based on health stuff. And then there's the bully energy and trying to still, crack heads with the Five of Swords and the Seven of Wands, but juggling with the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles. People trying to bring again the Middle East, Israel and the Gaza, that situation to peace. That is going to be juggled. They're going to get somebody else again in there. I really do feel it. I think he's going to pass. I do. I think it's coming. I think we are getting close to it. I think it's definitely kind of like Trump. This is his, he's not going to have another 20 years somewhere. This is kind of his ending. Let's just take a look at that very briefly. Can we look at Netanyahu's health, please? What do we need to know about it? What do we need to know about Netanyahu's health? Moderate solar storm today. Oh yeah, that can keep things knocked out. That can do all kinds of stuff. I think it affects our energy too, Lucy Claire. And Cat01, thank you for being here too. Yes, I think Trump will be ill, but he'll still be here. Yeah, for a while until I think there's some big health crisis for him on the horizon too. But just looking at Netanyahu, don't want to get my wires crossed. Let's just see what we get with his health. Not good. It's in decline. Yep, just like Trump's. You know, I think a lot of these tyrants are having these issues. Putin as well. It's in decline. So he's not going to get any better if he thinks that he's got stuff that he's wanting to take care of, whatever. I think he's kind of past that moment. That ship has sailed, brother. I don't think he takes it seriously enough with the Page of Cups that his health is declining. I think he waves it off until, yes, the tower. He's going to have a moment. He's got his own health moment coming. I feel like we're dealing with the same thing with this energy, this electrical energy. It could affect the heart and the brain. So it could be stroke, heart attack type of energy. And it's interesting. We get the tower and the two of swords. It's like there's a choice here, but that of how he responds to it. Like it's going to happen because the tower came first and then the two of swords. There's a block. Oh my God, there's a blockage. Maybe he has a blockage in his heart. Maybe he has a blocked artery or something like that. A blockage. It can happen on your brain too. You can get plaque can build up in these passages and block, and then you've got big trouble. You notice that too, Kat? Very observant you are. Good. I did too. He's very stubborn. You know, I don't think he wants to see a doctor or this sort of thing. He wants to be in control of everything. That's part of the problem. That's how you short circuit yourself. Stress is the biggest killer. And people that think that they tolerate it well don't always tolerate it so well. You weren't even thinking about yet. No, you weren't even thinking about Netanyahu until recently. Same. Like I was saying, he kind of goes off my radar and comes back on. I really try and let spirit try and shift the energy in, and it's like all of a sudden I'm thinking about so and so, and it's like okay. And what I've found is throughout life, I'm sure many of you have too, that when you pay attention to your intuition, you find out all kinds of interesting stuff, and it's like a switch gets put on. And you also find out how later that information might play out and see in we'll see. I don't want to get ahead of myself. um Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups, a new start. And there's emotional, oh my God, I think this is going to actually cause, I don't know what their economy is like, but it might get better. I think people are going to kind of think this is a blessing with these two cards of Ace of Cups and like a blessing upon the land. Sorry. Yes, folks, he's getting the death card. And the moon. There could be some things that are shrouded around it. He's going to, I think, try and be pretty secretive. He probably doesn't want to be seen as a weak guy, but they can cover up all they want. He has ending coming, and his health is ending. All right. See, there you go. Isadora says, I have thought the same, lots of us the same, have in the past thought of someone, and then you see him. And you know that it's like, that's weird. Now, I didn't just make that, you're definitely picking up on something. All right, so let's just take a look at Gaza and Palestine real quick, and then I'll get on to your questions. All right, so what will it mean for Gaza and Palestine with Netanyahu in the relatively near future? Let's just say the horizon that he's going to be in looking to pass. What will that mean for that whole situation? Let me see it from the point of view of Gaza, the Palestinian folks that are living on next to nothing but air and hope. It just breaks my heart too much. It's sometimes the world is just breaking my heart. People hurting each other, period. Needs to stop. And I see eventually this wanton violence that we're living through, people are going to be like, stop it. Just stop. And I see it actually beginning to lose favor, falling out of the energy can only sustain itself, for so long. And I see it petering out, so to speak. People just getting fed up with it, growing weary all around the world of war. And the war hawks that pound that we got to go and go after and blah blah blah, all that's going to fall out of favor. It's going to be a real change in era. All right, let's take a look at the Palestinian people and see what uh, Netanyahu's failing health is going to mean for them in the future. What is the future for them? Is there hope for Gaza? I like to think that there is, even if I can't give them anything else. Does Gaza have hope? It means a new start, like a spring morning. Page of Wands. I pictured a green shoot coming up through a dead ground, something new. Somebody they can make agreements or come to an agreement with. This also means bonds and maybe a chance to reestablish family uh, connections, communications. It would be very good for the people of Gaza. Justice is what it would mean, and a hope at it, and something that would have to be activated, a decision, especially with the human rights abuses. Um, we've got the delusional ideas from, I think, Netanyahu and the confusion here that might be, yeah, because it's connected to corruption. So he's been gaslighting, and they've been having to deal with that, being captive to this tyrant. This is Netanyahu, by the way. Yes, Netanyahu. Not some choir boy or not some mensch. He's no mensch. Believe you me, he is no mensch. He's not a good representation of a true, I mean, I've known, and I hate that saying, but he's not. He's just not. We all know it, especially those of us that know people from different backgrounds. Okay, I've said it there. Ace of Wands. It's going to be clear to them like that is done. And there's going to be a new offer coming for them, and there's a new day. This is new. This is hope. This is truly hope. His death will bring hope. His failing health will bring hope. And they will get more support, I think, overseas. This is also the world stopping and looking here and looking for ground that they literally, I think, their home ground that they can expand a bit more, not have more taken away from them by the settlers that encroach in, that Netanyahu's just allowed to go hog wild. Um, there's a burden of cleanup. They're overwhelmed, and maybe they'll be looking overseas for some help. I hope that they will be able to count on America. I see rebuilding their home. That looks so hopeful to me. And I see the mothers. I see the Empress. Baby boom. I feel like there's going to be a new abundance for them that will eventually manifest. And that's very positive. I see a protective, I feel like they're going to have a woman leader. I see Gaza, the Palestinians, having a woman leader with short black hair. I know that that's probably not usual, but it looks like it's short. She looks, or someone that's going to represent them. Maybe it's just my mind, the way I'm picking up the kind of a very business, smart, intelligent, you know, woman, but I see her as just, there's two women here. Maybe they're going to have a couple of women doing some role in leadership in the future. Something big with that for them. And they want somebody more moderate themselves. They're sick and tired of the war. They want women energy. They want women. And we have got the women in the Empress and the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles dealing with the abundance of land and thought and education and law and, you know, so it's good. I see actually a very bright future, if you can believe it, for Palestine, for Palestinians in Gaza with the downfall of Netanyahu. Okay, now let's go. Let's go to your questions. All right, here we go. Fiona, I'm over here. All right. Excuse me. I have a little hiatal hernia there that makes me have to kind of clear. Cheers, whatever you may be ingesting. Hopefully, something tasty and good for you, I hope. All right. Let me just, now that I've started that, I've got to just pause for a second and get ready for this question. I've got to look at my stream on the other side. I forgot to do that. Whoopsie. There we are. Here we go. Okay. All good. Green tea. That's really good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. All right. Let's clear the deck. Clear the deck. Seriously, that's what I think. I just think of like taking an eraser and taking the energy that was on the cards before and I know that sounds corny, but hey, whatever works. Because it's all about intention, people. And that's how we create. We create first within the consciousness, within the awareness. That pink looks so pretty on you, Maya. It matches your background. I don't even try. I just had the sweatshirt on my bed because, like, I get hot and cold, so I've always got to keep an extra tops on my bed and whatnot because I'll sweat, unfortunately. So I throw it on and we go. I think I have spiritual guides that help me color coordinate. I really do. I'm grateful. And Fiona says she drank her matcha tea also. Good for yous. I'm glad I've got people that are thinking about that. Green tea also makes me just like, ooh, that gives me wings. All right. Let's take a look at President Biden. It has mastetized. Although aggressive, it is hormonal based and it is said it can be managed. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for the extra information. I thought when I read that it had mastetized to his bones, that was just, well, it's not good. But anyway, so let's just see what we get. I'm going to focus on President Biden. I've been getting that King of Cups. The guides have been trying to tell me. throwing the King of Cups in my readings off and on. I'm like, what's Biden in here for? And I kind of thought about it, and but I had to go on because I wasn't reading about it, and it didn't make sense. That happens. All right, so let me just picture Biden, and will his cancer be treated successfully? Will Biden's cancer be treated successfully? Let's just ask that. Will Biden's cancer be treated? I'm getting that spiritual reading, the psychic warmth. I need a man. About ready to take the sweatshirt off. Oh, it's getting worse. And it's not like my usual like a hot flash that I would have connected to going through menopause. I've gone through it. So this is only when I read the cards. Oh my. Okay. I'm hopeful. Will Biden's cancer be successfully treated that has spread to his bones? Please give me really clear cards. Just be straight up with me, guides. Higher self. Give it to us. All right, here we go. Ah, man. Well, this could be treatment. This is the seven, I'm sorry, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 of Pentacles. Ooh, I got to get some air with that. Ooh, okay. I think it's kind of back and forth. There's juggling. So yeah, I see him being treated. And I think they kind of stay abreast of it, but it's rocky. It's a bit rocky. Big ups and downs for him with treatment. I do get the Ace of Swords, though. There's going to be clarity coming. I hope that means that they get rid of it or put it into remission. Well, through a diagnosis, I think, and doctors, of course, probably at the yin yang giving their expertise on it, but going to get something. I think he's going to have surgery. Is he going to? Why would he have surgery on the bones? He can't do that, right? Hmm. It just could be treatment that it brings clarity. Okay, let's see. We'll just leave it out there as that. I do get the Nine of Pentacles that pairs with the King of Swords. I'm getting Trump and his money coming in here. I didn't ask about that jerk. I don't want to know about him. I'm sure he is. I'm arguing with my guides right now. Sorry. Um, this is a really hard situation though with the Nine of Wands. I'm sorry, guys. I've got to shift around. I'm just getting way too warm here. Lymph nodes, huh? Okay. Queen of Cups and the Page of Wands. I think that it's going to give him a short bit of time. Here he is with the King of Cups. Okay. I'm sorry. He has an ending. I don't think it's a good one. There's trying to hold on with the Four of Pentacles, really holding on, though you're in decline. He might be able to hold on for a while with the Knight of Pentacles. I think they just kind of level it, you know? There might be some confusion here. There's also some drugs, feeling kind of woozy. What is that? The Eight of Cups with the Three of Cups. Well, he might be. There's some kind of celebration. His birthdays would be coming up, right? So in November, right? He's a November Scorpio. There is something on his birthday that's significant. King of Wands, watchful, the energy expanding. This could be like by then they're waiting to see, they're still waiting to see the results, I think, of chemo or some kind of treatment that he would undergo. I don't know what the treatment is, to be fair. I say chemo, but I'm just leaving it open. Yeah, the Nine of Pentacles is like you're comfortable, you live a life of luxury, you compared to most, you're independent, you don't have to worry too much. That's that nine. Um, but I don't like death there. I have seen that he will have us a bit of time, and then I think he does go, which he's older now. We expect that to some degree, but still, it's not going to be easy. I think he will buy some time with treatment, but I'm getting the card of grief and mourning, and it's just not completely here yet. We've not come to that crossroads yet with him, but we are approaching it. And then goes quickly. Knight of Swords and the Page of Cups, and maybe even with a humorous last few words. I don't know why I want to say that. Yeah, he might be joking around and getting some jokes in before he leaves the planet. Here we have him. I feel like the emperor. He's a father, and the work that he's left, his life efforts and putting a lot of hard work in. We know that can't be Trump. So I do think that he's going to go through a lot of treatment here. I think it's going to extend his life for a while. But unfortunately, I do think at some point that's agreeable to heaven and him and their timeline, he will step aside and he will step off the planet. So he's going into that mode. But first, I think, is going to truly fight and try and get that extra time for real. And no, I don't have a good feeling either, Dorian. Yeah. Devastated to hear this about Biden. Yeah, me too. But I kind of have been waiting for it for a good few years now. So I've always been kind of watchful. You're getting an up in the air feeling that you can't explain, and you'll do it again later. Literally finding out right now. Yeah, that when I saw that death card, you guys, it just felt like a punch in the stomach. It didn't feel like, oh, it's an end of disease. That would have been, it doesn't feel like that. And the grieving card, there's just too many other cards that tell me he's going to pass. So let's enjoy him, give him his flowers, and say thank you. There's some things I'm not crazy about, but he wasn't an all bad, not an all bad guy. Um, anyways, that does not look good. I think he's going to get some treatment that will extend a little bit of his time, but ultimately, I think it is, he's closing the door. Okay. I hate that. All right. Let's go to the next question. Okay. What happened to the date love group in Siberia? Similar, that is what is happening to, I don't know. What is happening in Portlock, Arkansas? Are they having things like that go on? I'll have to look into that now. Good grief, another rabbit hole, but that's okay. It's a good distraction from all the sadness. Put the detective cap on. All right, let's take a look and see. You know what I want to try on this? I'm going to try a different deck. There's one I was enjoying using earlier. Oh, here it is. What's the vibe? What's the vibe on that? Let's see if we can get anywhere with that. With this deck and maybe another. We'll take a look. Okay, what happened to the Date Love, forgive me if I'm not saying that right, group in Siberia? And is it similar? I didn't do that. I didn't do that. To what is happening in Portlock, Arkansas. My guides will know, my higher self will know. I don't know what's going on there, so let's just be open and see what the cards want to show us about what happened to the Date Love Pass hikers and whatever is going on in Arkansas. Is it Arkansas or Alaska? Alaska would make a heck of a lot more sense. Okay, I'm just like my brain. When I'm trying to do too many things at once, I can drop little points like that. They can get missed or mistaken. All right, let's see. So, Portlock and Date Log. Show us what we need to know with these cards. What's happening there? Sippin'. I'm getting rumors, gossip, nosy. Yeah, so what? And glow up, new opportunities, new career, successful business. I don't know about this. Okay, well, here's something paranoid, cautious, insecure, guarded. That even looks like I could see someone peering out of a tent, like looking, like, what is that? Someone being paranoid. And the glow up could be like a new opportunity that people have to travel up certain passes like Date Love and Portlock, whatever that is. We're getting fear and worry. It's a very highly waves of emotion. There's a similarity with the waves of emotion and the paranoia of some kind. A feeling insecure and afraid and very like you on high alert. There's hypervigilance is what I'm getting and anxiety. Maybe you'll know more about what that means than I do. Okay. Is Alaska, not Arkansas. Like, thank you, brain fart, Hopeful, inspired, optimistic success, and what a weird thing. And laughter, happiness, joy, healing. They're hopeful for something like laughter and joyful to come, but they're feeling like they've got to be scared by something, and they may not. There's a feeling of confusion. What is going on with that? Is there something weird with electromagnetic stuff? Wrong place, wrong time? Could be. And I'm getting, again, you know how we had insecurity? But there's also insincerity here and someone being arrogant, maybe. Rash actions, people acting because they're paranoid and they're hyper vigilant. They're feeling anxious. I don't think it's an apology so much as I think it's like the rash actions card. And maybe some arrogance when people start snapping at each other, especially if they're scared. Um, there's something that's affecting the emotions of the people that are going to these places where they become hypervigilant, insecure, paranoid, suspicious, and have rash actions. Good vibes now in the moment today. Maybe this is something that depends upon season and timing, that things can, again, maybe with the electromagnetic energy, can make people feel more anxious as well. And I believe there's certain grids, and maybe that area is sensitive. A gas leak? I don't think so. I feel like it's more of an energy. But let's just take a look. Sunspots definitely can affect us, just like the moon. There's boundaries, okay? Are they up near a boundary area? And there's something about that this area, these areas, that you have to defend yourself. Enough is enough. Disrespect and an energy that is protective, and people feeling this is really weird. So we're getting people feeling like they need to be on guard, and then we're getting another energy that I think is also protecting its grounds. Now that could just be people trying to protect their boundaries. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, and I hate to reach and blame the supernatural because I think a lot of people do that for clicks. But that's thinking of that Greek prophet. There's just something energetic that I'm picking up that affects the emotions and the regulation of human beings, and that makes them panic. And it's a protective energy. It might be like a nature energy. It's hidden. So I think it is like a nature energy. You can't see it. I feel like this is masked. There's more going on than we are aware of. We think we see everything, but we don't. The sun is shining, but there's all kinds of little atoms that are whirling around that we didn't know about. There's so much that is real that we don't realize affects us. That's what I'm feeling like. Nightlife. I'm getting striptease, gamble, Vegas. We know that's not there, but maybe something about the first part of that nighttime, nightlife. Fear. Yes, fear came up. There's a masculine energy as well, a very strong masculine energy that's the disciplinarian type of an energy, like a father figure's coming for you, or the authorities are coming for you, or like a masculine strong energy is coming for you. It's that feeling of flight or fight, but there is a very protective energy that I think people sense, though they may not be able to see. And I think it drives them a little crazy. Psychopath, I think it can make people go squirrely in the brain. Abusive, conniving, unpredictable. I think certain people are just not up to that. It has a bad effect on them. It makes them unpredictable at the very least with this card. All right. And it's part of the vacay thing. There you are trying to go relax, get away, do the hike or whatever. This is like a little retreat that people go on, little walks. And you got maybe some of those people, I hate to say it, but they might have something within their personality when it gets triggered by this energy, they could act even more crazy, even though they're there initially to have fun. There's something about something that's stuck, an energy that's stuck, and we get a dead end. There's a stagnant type, there's something that doesn't change. It's not good. So I think when it does come on, it's really oppressive, clingy. Huh. Old exes, dead relationship, old ways. Wow. Um, I'm getting some pagan energy. I'm getting some non-human energy. I'm also getting the past, the old ways. Not so much in the way of like an ex, but more in the way of the past and more in the way of a tradition of the past. I think there's an energy being there in these places that I don't know. These areas may not, people need to take care when they go into them. There's a lot there that they don't realize. It's more than the bears you need to be worried about. Wonder if wonder if at first whatever they saw they thought safe because they thought whatever it was went to the other side and got surprised. Yeah, I'm not sure. Sacred ground. Yes, this comes up, and I don't mean to fall on that old cliche, but it's what's coming up. Um, and there's chaos. It once that energy goes amok, it's chaos. And in the camps, they saw that. They saw that in Dyatlov, and I don't know, I guess Alaska. A local tribe wouldn't go there, says Erica. Well, now we know why. I think that they have age-old stories, or maybe even psychic memory, blood memory from their ancestors. That's not a place you go to, even if they don't know anything about it, which would make sense. A lot of them are going to have some connection to the land around them, and it also creates a hopelessness, a loss, depression. It's like it tries to drive you out of the space by any means necessary, putting you on a path of your end, shall we say. And cutting ties, freedom, standing up, awaken. Ooh, there's something about old ties and a change from, I don't know, maybe they don't like the changes going on in society. Can't say I do either, but this energy is not happy. It's awakening and it is getting freed. And maybe that's what's happening to this planet. Some of these boundary areas are becoming more protective as we soil the earth, don't treat it right. We get recharge, breathe, let go, clear your mind. Remember what I said about the mind? I think that it affects the breathe, let go. I think it overtakes people with anxiety. And I'm getting Archangel Michael for protection, prevented from harm, divine intervention. Well, I guess if you have to go there, that's who you want to call up because he comes with the card of recharging. And maybe if, you have to go in that area, or maybe we just call to that area to be healed, through Saint Michael. That's very interesting. That's what I got. I feel like that's an energy source. I really do. I feel like that is more satisfying than the reading I've done in the past. And it makes a lot more sense. It affects people. It's an old, ancient energy. It could be. It could be. I used to talk to a Joe. Our first home at 1 year old, my dad always felt an Indian burial ground. And I lived in an agency, Missouri, which was named that because it was an old Indian agency. Um, so I understand. There was weird energy there. It was beautiful land and I loved it, but it had conflict in it. And you could feel it in some places where I lived. I went before my accident. I hiked all around out behind cornfields and wild dogs and all that in Missouri. So, because I didn't have a car, I had to walk. Um, and you never felt okay. So I used to talk to a Joe, always felt like your place was on a burial ground, had a psychic gift. Never felt it was right to be there. We moved. Same. When you get that feeling, it's just like it any more than you would sit on the sun. You would not stay there. That kind of a vibe. Got you. That's what I'm getting here. It reminds me of one time at the lake, well, actually a small pond where I grew up in agency for many years. And on one of my birthdays, some girlfriends came over and we were all sitting having cigarettes, being sneaky so nobody could see us further away from my house down out like football fields lengths that the land went, acres. It would be a better way to put it. So they couldn't really see us. But we all went to sit down. And I don't think it was just because they didn't like we were smoking, but it was something because I went all over the place and snuck my little cigarettes when I was a teenager. But when we did that, and I'd never sat at this area before. Um, we all kind of looked at each other and we didn't say anything. And all of a sudden we just quit talking. We looked at each other. And it's like we knew we had to move. And we said to each other, I'm getting a creeped out feeling here. I think we need to leave. And we're like, yep, let's go. And it reminds me of that feeling. All right. Next question. All right. Sandy, your sister's dog at the end of his time with us. Okay. So sorry to hear that. As he's moved on, as he's moved in with you for about a week now. Okay, so he's at the end of his time with us as he's okay. Do you mean like what do you want me to check on, Sandy, with the dog? And you're going to return him back? Is he just staying for a little while? Let me see if I've got more on that. Sandy's question. Okay, is there anything more to that? Very quickly. Sandy, are you here? That was great. Yeah, that was, that's just it. When I just open, I can get some amazing readings. I just let fall out whatever's gonna. You were second in line originally. Oh, let's no. Let me take a look. You don't know. There you are. All right, I'll go on right now and then I'll go back to Sandy. A friend of mine got me to try Facebook art auctions for my paintings. I have 3 events scheduled this summer. Oh, good for you. Is this a good direction for me? I think it is because, a lot of people use it. So let's just use the What's the Vibe deck. I'll clear it. Okay, Laura. And then I'll go back to Sandy and see if she's come in. I just need a little bit more on Sandy's question about the dog. All right. Art auctions on Facebook for Laura. Is that a go? How does that look for her energy wise? That's why I like the vibe deck because you can look at the energy. And that's what we're reading anyway. How will Facebook art auctions be for Laura, Oregon artist? And if you haven't subscribed to her channel, you should. It's fun to watch and it's relaxing, especially if you want to get away from the toxicity of humanity and go toward creativity and positivity. Definitely check her channel out. I get lust, greed, by any means necessary. I think that's good in this case. I get a lush strawberry and I get second chance and a sense of deja vu. Um, I I don't think so. I get love affair, but I think that this just means that it's a positive and thrills, continuous cycles. I think it will have ups and downs. Um, but I think it's worthwhile because you're going to gain a lot of information from that in how to work these things. Let me just see a little bit more. You know what? I want to try a different deck with it. Yeah, I'll confirm it with the other deck really quick. So does this look like a good thing for Laura? Facebook artist auctions. Archangel Michael. I think that's a green light. I think that's a go. Protection, prevented from harm, divine intervention. I think so. And I get family. And I get blood ties inner circle. I feel like this is a good thing. And also with family, and maybe Archangel Michael's saying about something about boundaries and to defend yourself. I'm just going to add that in there. And laughter, joy, happiness. I think this will be a very good thing for you, actually. I think it'll bring a lot of needed joy your way, Laura, in a way that maybe you haven't been able to kind of scratch the itch of as an artist. Seriously, there's something very enjoyable. I think that's going to come through for you, but you might have to stand up to your family about this for some reason. Glow up for you career wise. I like it. I like it, especially for the arts. And I get distance. Um, Now it does have goes to separation, but this is remote, so it would be through Facebook. So I think that it's actually a good thing, a good remote new business. There's intimacy, mutual respect, and closeness that's going to come through that. I think maybe some new friends. I like it. Watch out for any of the cheaters, the double dealers on there that trying to trick you. I'm sure there's all kinds of scams and stuff, but you're a smart lady. There's nurturing, mentorship, wisdom, giving back. And there's also, I think, a little group of folks on there that are worth the effort. So I'd say, do it, girl. Do it, do it. That's a green light. And just remember, St. Michael wants you to stand up for yourself to your family when they get to take up, when they go past the boundary lines. All right? Does that make sense? Let me just check in with you here. Oh, Kathy in. Ah, my daughter and I are taking a trip this summer. I will have to look at that. So if you're a family of artists, if they start to go, hey, get a little attitude about this because you're shining a little bit, maybe they're a little envious. You just say, well, I'm doing my own thing. All right. Okay. Kathy, I will take your thing, but it's going to probably be the one that you're going to have to really hold on as fast as I go and as thorough as I try and be with for each person. Okay, Sandy, has she ever come back in? Have we got a Sandy going once, going twice, Miss Sandy? And that's relief and it makes sense. I've got you though, Kathy. I've got you starred, but just know that if you need to like fiddle around, don't, go and do that because yours will be on the, toward the end of the live because I've stopped. And thank you so much for that $10. I do appreciate it. These are tough times, and medical supplies aren't cheap, especially wound care. All right, let me just take a look for Sandy because I can't not do a solid here. All right, the dog. All right, what do we need to know about what does the dog want to say? What does the dog want to say to Sandy for caring for them? You got it. You got it, Miss Kathy. And I'm so glad, Laura. I think that there's an adventure and you should go for it. Even though it's online, there's plenty of worthwhile online adventures. All right. Oh my God, have meds and heart G jumped? I don't know. All right, let me just see. Sandy, the dog. What does the dog want to relate? No, I still need to shuffle this deck up. I don't feel like I'm connected yet. Let me just see. Doggy, Sandy, and the dog. All right. I feel like I'm connecting to the dog now. Let me just see. Is there something you want to share, puppy? What's your message to Sandy? What do we need to know about you and Sandy? Okay. Well, we get thrills. Maybe it was a thrill and laughter and joy and happiness. I think this doggy had a good time. Um, it does look like there was some exciting moments with the thrill, freedom, standing up, awaken. I think this is also they're going to be going home. Maybe that's more the sense of freedom. Um, There's something here about broken nightmares, failures. So I don't know. This dog looks like it may have at one point been a rescue. Exhausted and feeling kind of empty. There's exhaustion. What is this dog going to gamble? I don't know. I don't think so. Let me just grab another deck. I'm not, that one's not it. Not it entirely here. Not for me anyway. Aha. But I will use the Rose Oracle. Okay. What does the dog want to convey for Sandy? Very quickly. Soulmates. There's some bonding there that must have really happened. Um, and set sail. Yes, they've left. Uh, coming to the end of their time with you, getting ready to go back home. But I think that they really feel like they bonded with you and they really, really like you. It's very positive. This is hitting on the nose and making sense. There's some aspect though about feeling disconnected, maybe the moving around and having to reestablish one's it must be confusing for animals. And the Empress, that's your sister, I think, between the two women, huh? There's communication going on. And there's clarity with the full moon. Let me just read you what the full moon uh, says here. Let's see, that is, what number is that on 5? I've got it right here on my desktop. I can grab it really quick. The full moon there is actually kind of somewhat similar, I think, to the sun in this case. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, that's right. It is done through alphabet, so I'm almost there. Oh my God, I still got the spiritual heat wave going through me. Okay. Focus, free, full moon. So it's about abundance, clarity, completion, and the completion of the cycle of their time with you. There is reflection and there is a rightness, there is obtainment, and completed a cycle symbolically. Uh, again, that something comes to harvest, something comes to abundance, something comes, a goal is completed. It's also the feminine energy here, and you and your sister honoring you guys and your nurturing. It's a symbol for clarity. I think it's really clear to you that there's real communication going on between you and this dog, Sandy. That's very interesting. Sorry if you're having trouble hearing me. Hello, lovely souls. Running slop. Yeah. Boundary. We're talking about, I think the dog's referring to your sister's place and your place and different places that they've been to. And maybe some kind of confusion where that's because then he gets dark moon. That's interesting. But I see that this dog has really appreciated staying with you and feels very connected and will remember you with the remember card of the elephant. And there's a new start with remembering you. You're going to be significant to this dog. I think you've bonded with them in a lasting way that they're not going to forget. All right, Sandy? I hope that's meaningful. Okay. All right. Let me get on. All right. Ooh. All right. Now we have, since I've answered about President Biden's question, I'll move on to artist Liz, Patty DiAgostino, Mel, and then Kathy. And then we'll wrap up the live. Okay, that will keep us going for a while. Just a general reading moving forward in 2025. Okay. Yeah, let's use this deck, the Rose Oracle, see what it gives, if it's aligned. All right, for artist Liz, what does she have ahead of her moving forward in 2025 that she needs to know about? All right, let's see what we get. I get the Queen of Hearts. It looks sweet. And I don't mean to say that just, but that's what came out of, first thing, like I feel like there's abundance, there's creativity, there's positivity, there's warmth, um, compassion, sensitivity, being moved by things, and clarity you're going to have more clarity with the full moon on things that have been hidden to you in the past. And your intuition comes into strength, a strengthening position through your compassion, through your heart. Celebration, maybe with friends, even, or close family or friends, maybe a couple of them, and a leap of faith that you just have to trust the universe sometimes, and you can't control everything, and we have to let go and quit hemming and hawing and just get on with it. And so that's what I see you doing, taking a leap of faith with things, stepping outside of the box. There's positive energy there. So step outside the box. I see that coming for 2025, greater clarity, intuition, strength. And I see some good times socializing, with a small group of friends, and savor those little morsels of life. That's what we're here for, you know. Not usually what we think, we think, oh, when I did that good deed, that's usually not what gets, the attention of the divine. Um, so it's so weird. It looks really good. All right, let's go to Patty DiAgostino. Recently laid off. I'm so sorry about this. And your mother had a massive stroke on your birthday and then passed 5 days later. She was 92. I'm so sorry, Patty. I am so sorry. You've had a crap round. Let's see what's coming your way, all right? Good grief. When it rains, it pours. Now, I know you had asked about you being laid off and if they're going to rescind an offer. So let me just take a look at that. Is the offer that was given to you going to be rescinded? Patty DiAgostino, will the offer that she was made from work be rescinded or still good? I get TikTok. There is time on this. So there is a expiration date. You need to check on it. Right now, time is running out. So you might want to hop on it if you're going to. And innocence here. It's not that you've done anything wrong necessarily here. I feel like it's showing innocence. Or if you have to stand up for yourself, maybe, to say that whatever you need to say. I see gentleness. Approaching it with gentleness, asking with honey will get you more than vinegar. All right. And focus, get focused on it, get active on it. I feel that there's a need to look over things carefully. There's new beginnings coming your way, all right? With This card, we see the eggs are cracking open. So even though one door shuts, another's going to open. You have that ending again, the beginnings and endings. What was I just saying? So the universe is even joining me, saying that you've got endings that are awful, but you have some new beginnings that are ahead that you're not aware of yet. There's a journey. And just like your mother's on her journey, the next part of her journey, so are you. And it's a balancing act with work and otherwise. Just play it by ear and follow your gentle intuition, Patty. There could be someone trying to pull the wool over with trickery. So, where decisions are, read the fine print of anything you sign and understand it. And if you don't understand it, ask for someone to explain it to you because they should be able to do that and look it up. Seriously. Intuition. What was I just telling you? Today I've been on fire. You trust your intuition. If something smells fishy, trust your gut. Will my former employment rescind my layoff? There's a timely aspect to this. Soulmates and people close to you, their intuition, self-love, care about yourself, do what's best for you ultimately. You're going to have a new awareness, a new awakening coming with all of these changes in your life, with your, unfortunately, with your mother passing and all of that, and kind of this time crunch for you to respond to this offer, whether or not you want it, is up to you. It will always be up to you. But there is a time window on it, so take a look into that and be focused. You have new things that are going to open up. Things have closed and shifted so that you can experience new things. And as hard as that is with your mother passing, I'm so sorry. There is going to be celebration, and I think you need to celebrate life. I know that probably does not feel like anything you feel like doing right now, but eventually, when you can lift your heart up off the floor, the wisdom of your mother, what would she want you to be doing? Celebrating wisdom and epiphany. There's something big coming to you. There's an awareness that most of us are going through, an awakening awareness. And I see that happening with you. And there's really considering which way you're going. Summer is significant. Okay. And we get Queen of Hearts, following your intuition and compassion. Once again, maybe something going on this summer because we're already almost into it with May. Gentlemen and knowledge. So seek a man for understanding, for advice with this. And we have Emerge and Empress, and you're going to be okay. And your mother, there's something here with your mother's energy, the Empress. She says to take a leap of faith and to remember her. And remember to take a leap of faith. There's a message there for you. All right, Patty, it's going to be okay. This is part of what, you have to experience. You might feel disconnected right now, but just pull back and use gentle strength. Again, gentle strength, moderation, nothing too extreme. And be gentle with yourself. All right? I hope that makes some kind of sense to you. Yes, the Queen of Hearts is like the Queen of Cups. Yes. You worry about the med supply and Trump. Me too. Me too. It's like, oh, great. What if, I need my catheters? How am I going to pee? What's going to happen then? Not good. But I think from what I've been shown, somehow I'm going to squeak by. All right. So I'm going to move on. And your mother says to trust and take a leap of faith and to trust your intuition, Patty. So Things are going to open up. Don't panic, but go with each day. Go with the flow. All right, Mel Hepburn. All right. Well, Supreme Court revoke from B felon 47's immunity status to, if so, when. All right. Well, I'm going to continue with this deck because it does offer seasons. So let's just see. Well, will the Supreme Court revoke Trump's immunity? Let me just focus on that for a minute. Kind of cleared the deck. Will the Supreme Court revoke Trump's immunity? Let's see what we get. I get masquerade. He might get that mask ripped off, or this could be acting. Let's just see what we get. And strength, but strength in the way of not going to extremes, bringing someone that's out of control under control, but through the law. So this masquerade makes me feel like they might. I get the card of soulmates. I don't know why. And I get magic. I hope that's not somebody trying to help him. Let's just see what else we get. Leap of faith. Set in stone. There is something that we're not aware of with regard to this that is meant to happen. And we just have to trust and let go. No one likes to do that. Are you kidding? Release. He might lose that. This could be a release of his immunity because it's based on integrity. They actually might find their integrity again and go, you know what? And it's interesting. The card down here is 45. Well, he was once 45. And it's down to his lack of integrity and rabbit holes, all these with him. I get solitude. He's on his own. I think they could. At the end of the day, you best watch out. Decisions that they have to make. Oh, those decisions. It looks like it could be split even. But let's just see. It's a balancing act. Wow, I think it's going to be close. I think something around this is going to be close, this decision. But I think integrity is going to win. Tick tock, you guys. And wisdom. Wisdom's kind of like been coming in and saying, like, chill, Maya. I'm like, but you know I'm worried. It's like, Queen of Hearts, compassion and mercy. Women and the journey. There's a woman that brings her journey to our attention with this. Or, wow, maybe that's one of like, is it Jackson, Judge Jackson, maybe? We also have Sotomayor. All right. And they are not going to reveal their hand with this High Priestess card. But they're very intuitive. They know what's up. And the Queen of Fire, I don't think he's going to like, free yourself, buddy. We're not going to help you. Well, who's in jail? Who's going to go to jail? This is, to me, he's caught. I don't think he's going to have that. Yeah, the end of free yourself. So I think that immunity could end. Yes, I do. All right, Kathy, in very quickly. And that's the end of the live. Let's see here. Your daughter and her family are taking a trip this summer. Will it go as planned despite the current situations? Oh, dear. Yeah, and I'm worried about travel, I'm telling you. There are reasons this summer is the time. Okay, let's take a look and may it be blessed. I pray. Okay, Kathy. Let's take a look at your family and your daughter and her family and their trip this summer. Is that going to be blessed and protected from craziness? We're asking for that, please. And we're going to entrust her and the family to Saint Michael Archangel and all the protective energies. Shield them. So let me just do this again. Will Kathy's daughter and her family have a safe summer holiday? How will that go for them? I get summer comes up. Oh my God. What? What? It's fire today. And I get priestess. There's some things that haven't been revealed here, but to trust in intuition and our instinct at any turn during that holiday. Queen of Hearts. I think that's your daughter. Very sensitive, compassionate young lady, maybe. And the sun. It's going to be okay. Here's the sun. There's blessing. Oh, I love it. And when I get like this, you can take it to the bank. It's going to be blessed. Follow your instinct. There's going to be clarity and the full moon. Again, women, follow your instincts and wisdom. It's going to be good. Faith. Stick close to God and take a leap of faith. Trust God. Say, okay, God, I know this is crazy out there, but we got this holiday we got to go on. God's going to say, I got you. I got you on this one. All right. That's really what it shows, Kathy, in a nutshell. So that's good. All right, you guys. How have we done? Yes, that's her. So cool. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. When you get the sun, it's like you're right. This is a special blessing. That's the face of God like that. That's what it reminds me of. It's very sweet. So, all right, you guys, I'm starting to lose my voice now. If I have by some uh way forgotten someone, I don't think I have, but I will always try and pick you up the next week and just understand I'm one person full of faults, but I do the best I can and I love you and I care about you and I pray for you and I want you to take care. All right? You guys make me smile. You really do. All right. I love you guys. Take care. All right. All right. Bye. It's been fun. And I will do more on Leo. I know people I want to do more on his career and stuff. All right, guys. Bye. Take